Welcome back everyone for part 2 of how to solve a Rubik's Cube, and now the step that we are on is inserting our corner pieces. What we did in part 1 was we got our cross, and that is all good. We got that. And now the next step is to insert the 4 pieces that are not in their correct spots. As you guys can all see, there is 4 corner pieces that are not in the right spot. And in this, I'm going to show you how to insert those into the correct spot. So first, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your white layer is on the bottom. So put your cross on the bottom, making sure that the yellow is facing you. So this is one of the difficult things to do when solving Rubik's Cube, because a lot of people don't know exactly how to put the corners into the correct spots without messing up their cross. And this causes a lot of frustration and confusion, but hopefully with this video I will help you. So the first thing that you need to do is to find a corner piece. And what I mean by a corner piece, that is a piece that contains 3 colors. And as you guys can see here, this one contains green, white, and orange. And there are 4 of them. This one right here is white, red, and blue. This one is green, red, and white. And this one is orange, blue, and white. So there are a few cases that you're going to run into when you are solving for your corners. And this is the part where a lot of people will get frustrated. So there can be multiple ways that the corners can be in a different spot and not in a good way. So what we have to do here is we have to focus on putting our corners into the bottom layer here. So first thing that we have to notice is, where is our corner piece? And I'm going to tell you this right now. The way to note this, to make it correct, this is what you will always look for when solving your corners. No other piece comes before this in the beginner's method. You only focus on the corner. And when you're solving a corner piece, this is what you look for. You look for a white piece that is facing you. It could be facing to the left, like this, or it could be facing to the right, like this. But for now, we're focusing only on the one that is facing us directly. So the question is, okay, well, what type of a move do I need to get this piece down here? Most people would go like this to get it here, but that messes up your cross piece. So what you need to do is to put this piece right here above the center. And the way that you look for that is that whichever way that the puzzle piece is looking at you, it will tell you. As you guys can look here, this is not what we want, because this piece does not match with this piece. This is the orange corner, and this is the red center, and you don't want that. So what you do here, and there are a few and simple ways that you can remember this. When solving for your corners, there is only 3 pieces of the puzzle that you are going to move, and this is for beginner's method. The only pieces that you have to move when solving the edges is the left layer, the right layer, and the merry-go-round. Those are the only ones that you're going to have to worry about. You may worry about a face move here and there, but I'm going to do my best to get away from that because face move's a little more advanced. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, how do we insert this piece right here? If this isn't correct, how do we move it to the correct spot? So what you do is you take your merry-go-round and you move it to the left. Remember, this side, the blue side, is facing you. So what you want to do is hold the cube like this and move the merry-go-round over to the left. And note, this is when the corner piece is looking at you directly in the face. You could move it to the right, you could move it to the left, it doesn't matter. So what you want to do here, and I'm going to say it for this video's sake, is that we move the corner piece to the left. So move the merry-go-round to the left, and now what you're going to look at is this piece is going to be facing you. The orange is going to be looking at you, the green is going to be on the top, and the white is going to be over here. So what you do now from this part, and this is if the merry-go-round goes to the left, you move the entire cube over to the right. Just like that. So now, are we correct? We'll move the entire cube. We are not correct because this is not orange. This center is not orange, but this corner piece is orange. So what you have to do, now that you've moved your cube over to the orange face, what you do here is you move the merry-go-round to the left again. And now look, stop right here. This is how you know it is correct. When the orange corner and the orange center matches up with each piece. The green doesn't really matter because we're not worrying about the green. So now that you have this, you are correct. And now, okay, well, how do I put that in there? You move it to where the white piece is facing the green or the opposite. And so what you do, this is a very simple algorithm that you do to insert it. All you do is you move the merry-go-round to the left, the right side comes up, the merry-go-round goes to the right, and you come back down. And what does that do? That matches this piece up with the correct center on both sides, and it's correct on the white side without messing up our cross. And that is the easiest way to look, is whenever a white piece is facing directly at you, no matter where you are on the cube. Now we have case number 2. And case number 2 is a little bit trickier because what do you do when you have a corner piece that is in the top? You never want the white to be on the top because that is not a good thing. So what do you have to do when it's like this? This is what we call case number 2. So what we do here is we have to put it over the center like we normally would by moving the merry-go-round to the right. Moving our cube to the left. And now we look at the piece here. This would be correct. If this orange piece were matched up here, that would be correct. But that's not correct because the white is still on the top. So this is case number 2. What do you do when the white is on the top? What you do here is very simple. You always want the white facing you. You always want the white side to face you on the upwards. So the white and the yellow will match when you have case number 2. So how to get rid of case number 2? You move the right side up, the merry-go-round goes to the left, the merry-go-round goes to the left again, and the right side comes down. And now what we have is the white piece facing us correctly, and this is exactly what we want. Because if we move our merry-go-round to the right, then what does that do? That matches this piece up correctly, and we're just where we want to be. So what you do here, now that they're matched, you do the same move. You do right, merry-go-round to the left, right side comes down, and check it out. You've got this piece all correct, and you've got this piece all correct, and everything's still good. So we're halfway through. Now we have case number 3. Case number 3 is when the corner piece is in the bottom layer, but it's not in the right spot. And this is how you notice that this is the incorrect piece. You'll notice that even though that these are the colors that need to match, it's in the bottom layer where you don't want it. So the simple way to get this piece out of here is simple. What you do, this is for case number 3, you move the right side up, the merry-go-round to the left, and you bring the right side down. And now what you have here is the correct case, and we have just what we did in the last one. You move the merry-go-round to the right side comes up, the merry-go-round goes to the left, and the right side comes down. And now we got 3 out of the 4, and this brings us to our next case. This is case number 4, but case number 4 is pretty much case number 3. Just you have to look at it. So notice that there are only 3 cases when you are putting the corners, because there are only 4 spots that the corners can be in on the side. They can't be anywhere else that they can't be. And what I mean by that is a corner piece can't be here, here, or here. They can only be in the corners. So what you do is you move the right side up, the merry-go-round to the left, you bring the right side down, and now you're simply just to inserting. So what do you want to do if you want to insert the cube to the left? simply what you do is you move the merry-go-round to the right, you have your pattern, and if you want to move it to the left, then you can do so this way. Face the white center, or the white corner, my apologies. Move the merry-go-round to the right, move the left side up, move the merry-go-round to the left, bring the right side down, and now what that did was that completed our whites, and now everything in the first layer is correct. And this is what you want to have when you are done with the corners. If you have any questions, please leave below in the comments, and I will get back to you, and thank you for watching. Tune in for part 3, how to solve the middle layer.